Hey guys, did you know that if you don't plug in your mic, it doesn't work? And if your camera magically turns off for some reason, that also doesn't work. I have no clue what is going on. Amazing technical difficulties. A Dirk the Red Panda tradition here. I'm looking at my preview there and it's like, I'm gonna change windows quickly. Still having an issue with my face. What is going on? Oh, dear goodness, help. I am shaking my Streamlabs all over the place. We'll start at the 10-minute mark, I swear. I realized like 2 minutes ago, and I've spent the past 2 minutes realizing my cable to connect my USB mic in was not connected. I was watching something earlier and I had my computer downstairs, so I forgot to re-plug it in. Also, I need to plug my charger in. So much technical difficulties. Oh Lord, why did I start this early? I hope everybody's having a good time hearing me while my camera does not work, which I do not know why it is not working at the moment. It was working for a second, and now it's not. When will I ever not have technical difficulties is the real question, so I'm gonna be looking up my face. Hey, I did it. I don't know why it did that. I guess when you turn something back off and on again, it magically makes things work. My camera's not, yeah. Guys, I just realized my camera's not working. Yeah, Perpy, why would you donate?
Super chat.
Why would you donate to me having technical difficulties? That just is cruel. So we're gonna do a take 2 of what I just said for the first minute. There we go, the nice strumming of the guitar. All right, take 2, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. I am Dirk the Red Panda, and I am playing Minotaur Hotel. So, I said a lot of this before, but my mic and camera were not working. So, basically, Minotaur Hotel, I've seen it, I've, heard of it going around, I've watched a player or two play it, I've watched Vlad play it, who is in the chat right now, so everybody's saying hi to him right now, but I never could get around to it myself because I just didn't have the time or just personal motivation to put it on my channel at the time, and I just was like, I like it, but I'm like, I just don't know how to fit it in. So what happened was I then had a 500 follower raffle, and I wasn't thinking about this whole Minotaur Hotel dilemma in my head at the time. I was just like, oh, if anybody wants to suggest a new VN for me to try out at least, then throw it in this raffle and the winner gets to choose. And that winner, Jen Ursinus, I think it is, on Twitter, suggested Minotaur Hotel. And so, I was pretty happy with that choice. I mean, it does give that D&D Bard vibe. It does give that classical feel, and you will get used to that, like, kind of, I don't know what to call it, like that enchanted feeling of Minotaur Hotel. Like, it's got that very, like, personable, hospitable vibe to it. But, oh no, my camera and all that's just working now. Now you leave. But have a good night, Nye ma'am. Have a good night, Nye ma'am. But yes, enter the Greek accent. Oh Lord, I don't think I have a good Greek accent. I don't even know about Greek accents. Help! Yes, we know you are Perpy. You didn't have to donate to say that, Perpy. Oh my goodness. Adastrastides. Yeah, that's coming out soon, but we're playing Minotaur Hotel for now, and I was going to do this earlier before the technical difficulties happened, but I'm gonna try something out with my lights to see if I don't have to have this giant beam of light ahead above me, because I cannot dim it. There's no way for me to, like, lower it.
Super chat.
Thanks, Burpee. But yeah, another $2 donation from Burpee. But yeah, there's only on and off for this light, so it's either mega bright or no light. But I do have a closet with a light in it, and I'm wondering if I could do something with that. Maybe. Here we go. Here's to hoping. Yeah, that's awful. I'm sorry. This was a big regret. If I had brought my light home, if I had brought my desk lamp home, this would all have worked better. I'm going incognito Dirk. I guess we're gonna have to go with blinded by the lights, Dirk. Shucks. Alright. And have a good night, Catherine. I know, this is a very late stream, and I was going to do it earlier, then got delayed with life. I had some friends reach out to me about something. They were like, oh, I need help with this. I was like, I want to be nice. Help them through it. And yeah, just finished talking with them before the stream started, so it was great. Luckily, only was like an hour max thing they needed help with, because it was like homework. But yeah, 15-minute mark, you know what that means, guys. We are starting the stream. We're starting the actual reading. Yes, we are going to jump into this and pray that nothing else goes wrong. Yes, curse you Pacific time indeed. You're always staying up later than everybody else, but also everybody else is up earlier than you and going to bed before you. A tragedy indeed. Luckily, with this new game, fine, I'll do safe for work. No. This is a Christian server game now. I was going to do like not safe for work and then censor for you guys, but you know, I think I should play it how it's intended for streamers. Censoring things. Anyway, let's get started. Across the sea, you shall find the island of Crete, from which the tyrant Minos demanded tribute in the form of Athens' finest youth. Upon arrival, they were sent to a foul location erected by Daedalus, whatever your name is. The great architect with a very hard name to say. 'Twas a labyrinth in which lived the bull of Minos. The hybrid was conceived when the tyrant's wife, a once sacred nymph, was stricken by a lustful curse, making her take the bull's lurch. The result was the monster called the Asterion, half bull, half man. Having no place in nature, he took to consuming human flesh. Great start. He lived in the labyrinth, feeding off of the Athenians. But among the sacrifices came a distinguished hero, Theseus, future king. The bright-eyed Athenian captivated the passions of Princess Ariadne? Ariadne. Dirk does not know Greek myth, nor know how to pronounce Greek myth. Who revealed the secret to defeating the Minotaur. Later, the victorious prince's bronze sword shone splendidly under the sun as he and the princess sailed away from Crete to Naxos. Prologue. The deed. Oh, God, I love that. I love those bars. They're so aesthetic. Like I said, I've watched Grizz or Lad play this series before, but I have not actually fully played through it, so I know what the design looks like, at least. But anyway. You don't remember much about that night. Your travels had taken you far from home. You were halfway dead after all the nights tossing and turning under unfamiliar ceilings. It was 3 a.m., and it felt like you hadn't slept in a proper bed for at least 2 nights. You were pulling all the spirit you had left to keep you going, grinding your mind to dust. But it would soon be over. You were so close to home. Just one more bus ride. One long enough for a good night's sleep. Until then, however, you had to keep yourself awake. You got up and set out to explore the station. The whole place was a sorry sight. It didn't have much, but it was honest work. And what little it had was poorly maintained. The bathroom was an atrocious mess. The lobby's floor was stained with age. The asphalt on the terminals was cracking. Even so, it had been built to last. Decorated with brutal obsidian pillars cut right out of the earth itself, and marble tiles polished into labyrinth patterns. The walls were lined with statues in grotesque style, their exaggerated expressions with wide-eyed screams. The ceiling was covered with latticed reproductions of paintings, Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam, and, a bit up ahead, Picasso's Guernica. The lobby seemed to extend forever onwards, lined on either side by rows of closed-down stores. The elevator music playing from some unseen speaker was enough of a distraction to keep you going. Oh boy, we're going into an old-school 50s diner with the white and black tiled floors. A sudden crackling of stoic broke the song. You had found your way into a cafe, populated solely by an old radio and even older gentlemen. Oh man. Very old gentleman. I hope he has some health insurance or whatever. I feel bad for this guy. He'd be pretty weak looking. His skin was paper thin. He held a cup of coffee, and every time he had sipped from it, his shaking hands would spill half the contents. Okay, now I feel bad for making that joke. Oh god. I feel terrible. The old man's glazed gaze passed over you a few dozen times before he realized you were here. Or there. Or anywhere. As he looked at you, he patted the stool beside him and shook his hand in your direction. He poured a cup for you. You sit, hunched over the counter and taking a sip. Every time we have to take a sip during the game, we have to take a sip in real life. We chew our ice here in this household. Because ice is tasty. A breeze of life pours over your face. You can't even register what it tastes like. It's like it's water or something. You just know right then and there that you are alive and wide awake. You look to your side, to the old man. His face is contorted into some form of distress, lips quivering as his eyes dart to and fro. This man looks like he's just does not want to be here. Just not even the distressed part, but this man just looks so done with this whole night. This dude just wants to find a bed and just pass out. We need to sign a petition to get this man a bed. I feel terrible for him. Get old man bed. Hashtag. He puts a hand over each of his pockets, face still locked in fear, until his right hand falls over his breast pocket. He breathes a sigh of relief and looks at you. God damn it, Wend. You made the best jokes so far, better than all my jokes. He's having none of it. If you guys don't know, Nanoff is the creator of this game. I mentioned in the description that they're pretty good technically and also personality-wise, so yeah. Nanoff is a solid VN creator and does give a lot of advice in the very VN chat, so yeah. He starts talking. Oh god, he's shaking. I'm like, he's gonna attack us. He starts talking, but not in a language you understand. He's not even looking at you. His gaze wanders around with seemingly no goal. But eventually, he finds a thread you can follow. You seem like a traveler type. You remind me of... He hesitates, glances around, mulls over his words. It's all great to me. Wend is 2 for 2 tonight. Somebody give Wend Gale the MVP award tonight. They should just take my job right now. Bye, everybody. No, but I'm seriously enjoying the jokes. I don't mean to be misbehaved about it. Like that, they didn't want to sound like that, but I'm just saying that they're just really good jokes. Yes, just like me with my own jokes, this man is done with his life, or this life. Yes, you remind me of myself in my younger days. He looks ahead and takes a sip of his drink. You catch a glimmer in his eyes, a sudden wakefulness. I was a fool. Never settled down and squandered my one chance at a proper life. Felt the road would always take me in. Ended up throwing away that one place I could call a home. It's been rotting for who knows how long, and now I'm old. Cool story, old man. Always wondered if someone would ever take over and treat it right. Now, you do remind me of myself, but I wasn't a good man. Hopefully you don't have the mean streak I had. I was an asshole. Don't be an asshole. Well, I'll try my best. We gotta go full Jarvis Johnson and say that we're trying our best. Well, I'm far from perfect, but I do try my best. Is that so? I suppose that's as good as it gets. At least nowadays you can try. Back in my day, as every old man ever says in every story, back in my day, my father treated me like dirt and no one batted an eye. I saw that happen a lot, too. I wasn't the only one. It made beasts out of my siblings and I, having a father like that. But don't you think I'm blaming him? Don't you think I'm blaming him? You can only point the finger at your dad for so long, eh? At least eventually I find a way to make a living. How about you, young man? Have you found a calling? Oh god, speedrunner! Oh my god, Minotaur Hotel, speedrunner %. Oh my god. I speedrun games for a living. Oh no. I love it already. And the one next to it makes me really sad because that's what I'm doing. I just did maths right before this stream. So I feel like that one relates to me the most. I'm very talented with maths. Then I also have a thing with technology too. Like I also do programming with some math in it. So it's like those last two are like, man, my background. Oh my goodness. I feel like if I choose those nerdy backgrounds, I'm gonna be super lame. I'm gonna be such a lame nerd in this game. Ah! Why am I such a nerd in real life? And in video games? Read through them first. Oh, I'm gonna read through them all. Okay, you get additional loot from exploration and may turn a danger event into your advantage. Good for second playthroughs. Oh, what is this, password? No, I kid. Those are fun games, though. But... Math. You are analytical and thorough. You have access to additional information that leads to better team management and optimization. If only I was not too lazy at that. Anyway, tech. You are knowledgeable about computer systems, programming, and engineering. You can lend additional help in tech and R&D projects. That sounds most like me so far. Going up to arts. You have vast knowledge of literature, arts, and architecture. You can make renovations to the hotel that bring in additional guests. Leader. You are charismatic and a good mediator in conflicts. Maybe. I don't know how good I am at solving conflicts. You are able to make some choices that are fixed for other backgrounds. And last but not least, humanities. Like those ever matter. Not kid. You are better at crafting contracts and can get additional options from them. You are also good at handling bureaucratic situations. Stonks? Is this stonks? Okay, somebody says that art is kind of the best option, I think. But I really want to see what the other options do, because I don't know, I feel like I get the feeling that other people have chosen other backgrounds. And it's gonna be fun, because, you know, maybe this will change some of our choices later on. Not like in a bad way, but in like a, this game has unique paths with its character's way, or how they do the thing. I really want to do tech. Kill me for choosing it, but I do have a thing with technology. And if anybody boos me, why are you booing me? I'm right. Technology. I was never good at understanding all the new things coming out at the time. It was always tough for me. Okay, I was wondering, I'm like, Vlad probably chose arts. It seemed like his choices were art-related. But yes. So seeing something else will be interesting. I agree with you on that. Guess that means our playthrough will be interesting and unique. Alright. It was always tough for me. The old man rambles in the same language as before. Sometimes he'll stop and stare at you, as if expecting a response. A nod or a grunt is enough to get him going again. Okay. His voice becomes graver and deeper as the night goes on. It is soothing, in a way. Even if at times he'll again allude to having a rough, sorrowful past. Eventually, he stops and his gaze seems to shine with lucidity once more. I must say I'm terribly sorry. I'm afraid I never asked for your name. Uh-oh. Name time! What the heck is my name? Ah! I don't know my name! Quick, what the heck is my name? Where'd it go? Alright. Should I make it more unique? Hold on. Dang it! I can only go for 5 Dirks. I was hoping it would be the William idea. But I guess we'll never be able to do that. When Gale had the same damn idea as me. A classic FVN running gag. Alexander is... Oh god. I can't make that joke. Because I was playing a game on my own one day, and I was like... I just was like totally making fun. I was just like totally like playing it, just kind of shooting the shit with it, like just doing it just for gags, and I had the worst name for one of the characters, and then one of the people that was there with me also had a really bad one. Like, oh man. I don't know if I'd say it, because I feel like the people that were there with me would get the joke, but everybody else would be like, what the hell are you talking about? York. Oh god. No. An FVN fan. Oh, run away. But yeah, it was like, I called one of the people suggested for me to call one of the characters Jonathan Alexander Bottomsworth III. And then I named another one, and this character had unlimited namespace. I just called them German, and just went infinitely long, and then called them McGerman Face infinitely long as the last name. Good times. Haven't played the VN since, and I'll never say what it is because it is cursed. Lawrence, oh my god. If Lawrence took over a hotel, I would be pretty scared. That low-key sounds like a sitcom. The Sweet Life of Lawrence. But we're just gonna call ourselves Dirk. Alexander III. Nice. Perseus, that'd be interesting, but I gotta be true to myself and call myself by who I really am. Dirk. Googs is Lawrence himself. No, I'm Lawrence. Get that right. I am the one who plays Lawrence. Anyway. Biggest Dirkus. Fuck yeah. Gwen is on fire tonight. I'm glad I met you, Dirk. As he says with embarrassment. The old man's eyes become glazed again and his hand starts shaking. Coffee spills everywhere, but it's gone cold already. You seem like a well-traveled man. Oh, traveling when I was young was so difficult. Now you can be on the other side of the globe in a day or two. Oh, how the world has changed. There was this one time I talked with my brother just about this topic. Old man problems. Back home, there was this vineyard where we spent so many summers, eating and drinking. I remember it so well, like it's a moving picture. And you know what he told me? I'm an old man, that when we were young, there was so much wonder and magic around us. It's true. We could walk down the road, a stony little thing from Roman times, and whenever we were children, once or twice every week, we'd see ghosts rising from cairns and crosses to mingle about. But things have changed so much. Soon I'll be one of those ghosts, and I'll finally catch the ghosts! I think it's the technology. Spirits and the arcane don't mix well with it. True. Maybe. It's something in the eyes. My brother, he used to say it's because mankind lacks piety nowadays. The unknown is not as frightful either. So much mystery has been lost. And so the bridge with the fantastical broke down. The old man freezes for a moment, then looks back at you. I'm getting up. I was rambling again, was I? I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. That's interesting to hear. Simp for the old man, no! Oh my god, just make March Madness open to, like, human characters. It's just gonna be like, this old man's the first one to make it. Oh lord. Science explains a lot, man. But, yeah, I think it was interesting to hear. But I guess science explains a lot? I don't know, man. What do I say to this old man? Oh, God. Okay. Sorry about that. My HDMI cable almost fell. There we go. Technical difficulties are over. But science does explain a lot. Science! I've seen a number of seemingly unexplainable things. Anyone who travels as much as I did will stumble on too many to count, really. But I'm glad at keeping my cool and paying attention. Yeah, too often these unexplainable phenomena are quite mundane in origin. I'm not saying there are people in costumes making hoaxes. Oh, well. Yeah, actually, yes, there are. This man's, like, not taking any of it. He is getting more and more disappointed in us every single second. How many times do we get to tell you this, old man? How much can I disappoint him? But can science explain why Pepsi Max tastes so good? I actually don't know. I've never had Pepsi Max, just regular Pepsi. Anyway, or making deepfakes and posting them online. When you know what a deepfake is. But too often there are perfectly serviceable explanation elsewhere. You just have to pay attention and unravel the thread. Unraveling a thread, eh? Now that's quite sharp of you. I may believe in ghosts, I do, but I see the wisdom in your words. Don't let yourself be tricked. You really seem something special, I'd say. Perhaps you will do. Just finds a random guy in the train bus station or whatever. He's like, yeah, I'll just throw the keys to this man. Here. Oh God, he's getting closer. I'd like you to have this. I'm sure you'll take better care of it than I did. The old man takes an old piece of paper from his breast pocket and extends it to you. Oh God, he's possessing us with the paper! Catherine, I don't think science can possibly explain why Shuichi from Tennessee is so hot. It is an undeniable fact and part of nature itself. Anyway, the deed for the place I told you about. The one I squandered. I'm old. Tired. I would like someone to have it. I've been looking for an heir for a while now, and I don't quite feel like I have any more time to waste. So I just found the first person I could in the bus station and just yeeted it off to them. Just take it. It's yours. A grandiose place, a hotel. Time's taking a toll, but you will love it. Just, please, take care of it. Be good. Give him a purpose. You raise an eyebrow at him. Does this old man try to give you a hotel just like that? Now, who would do that? But seriously, if getting houses or anything like that was this easy in the real world, god damn, I wish I could live at that place or whatever. Makes me think about how hard it is to get a job or a house or anything nowadays. Back in my day, I'll trade you one hotel for a KFC bucket. I would love to imagine that's canon. And this guy's just walking off with a 20-piece of chicken wings. Like a 20-piece that and like a family meal combo. And he's just walking off with his tub into the dark, just into the night, to disappear. This was the greatest deal of his life. His wandering gaze betrays his senility. Oh, senile, like senility. Never heard of it said like that. His wandering gaze betrays his senility. At times, he seems outright confused, as if he didn't know how he got here in the first place. Oh lord, this is a bad idea. You can't take it. Would it be right to take advantage of someone like him? And that's assuming that piece of paper is a deed. It might just be a used napkin with a nice seal. The old man's gaze wanders around. With his hands still extended, he squints his eyes at you, then looks down to the paper. He struggles to put his thoughts together, but for a brief moment, his expression grows firm and lucid. You must think I'm crazy, but please understand, this is my last chance to do it right. Just take the deed. Just reject it, and the game is over. Fine, we'll accept. If we reject it, we're gonna be like really hella awkward, right? You give in to the old man's pleas. You're just accepting a piece of paper, after all. It's probably nothing. And if indeed it is something important, you can try returning it. You obtain the old deed. Can I click on it? Oh shit, no I can't. You obtain the old deed. To check your items, go to the menu and open the menu and go to the items subscreen. Which one? There's so many menus. Oh, baby preferences? Items, ah. The deed given to you by the old man. Despite its age, the wax seal is recent. Can I open it? Please let me open it. And then there's these other things which I do not know. And then there's other things. Such a beautiful layout. Gosh, I just love this. This, like, screen. I wish I knew how to do that. But, anyway. This old piece of parchment looks unimaginably ancient. Older than you. That's for sure. But the wax on it seems reasonably new. Perhaps even fresh. You break open the seal and examine the paper's contents. It's gibberish, written in an alphabet you've never seen before. I'm sorry, I don't speak math. Well, it would seem like this was all for nothing. You stick the deed into your jacket's pocket. You look back up to the old man. The corners of his mouth wrinkle, and he shakes ever so slightly. But his joy is short-lived. His gaze wanders once again. When his focus returns to you, he furrows his brow, taking in each of your features one at a time. Okay, the old man mumbles something to himself, takes a sip of his coffee, and smiles. You are a very kind young man, Dirk. Thanks, old man. He does remember your name, at least. You check your wristwatch, and the numbers to have turned into gibberish. You take it you spent too long here. You collect your luggage, say your farewell to the old man, and thank him for the wonderful coffee. He subtly bows to you. No, Dirk. It is I who ought to be grateful. It was a pleasure dealing with you. Bye, old man. You leave the cafe and make your way to the bus terminal. The station is deserted, save for a single man smoking a cigarette outside the cafe. And I turned to the forum, and it read, Terminal 3, flights on time. The bus is now a flight. And I crammed a Eurovision joke in there, damn it, because I wanted to. And it was a station joke. You greet him with a nod, and he responds in kind. Aside from the old man, he is the only person you find. But maybe that ought to be expected at this time of night. You make your way through the empty station. There's no one to greet you at the boarding platform. The bus is so dark, you can barely make out the driver's silhouette. As soon as you sit down and recline, you try to process the night's events, but your thoughts skitter away. It's so hard to say for sure exactly how long you've been traveling. All the airports, truck stops, train stations, and ports mixed together. The restlessness of unending travel is the only constant. It doesn't take long for you to give up. A merciful warmth seeps from your chest as you fall asleep. Oh boy, we made it to chapter 1! Sometimes they're really long chapters or prologues or whatever in these VNs. Did not expect it to be this relatively condensed. But yes, my background is indeed tech. Alright, save. I guess maybe we could change it on different... I wonder if you could change it for like different choices. I wonder if you could, yeah, for like a different save, change that background. Yeah. Oh, it does give it to you there. Okay, that's cool. Anyway, go just take a quick little, got hangnail. I don't know, this window will do. Sorry, it was really annoying. But yes, time to continue. I just wanted to say end a prologue at the 51-minute mark. Chapter 1 starts. Alright, let's keep this train going. Yeah, it does feel like it's good pacing. Never been one to really do pacing myself because I just vomit on the paper whatever sticks. His devlogs. I'd be curious to see those. I haven't really taken much of a look at them. Really good insight into their process in VN development. Ah, man, I wish I did a better job at doing that on my own. But, I don't know. A few days later. Oh no, we're back in Echo. Fuck. Ah! The horizon sprawls across the stained windshield. The radio's tune has disintegrated into static. The AC can't keep up with the sun's heat on the car's roof. The desert stretches on the entire horizon ahead. A wasteland of flat, yellowed plains. To the right, about 100 meters from the road, a dusty soil gives way to a sharp cliff. A valley peeks out beneath it, stretching to the blue horizon. You check the deed again. You couldn't read it at first. Maybe you were too tired. But now, the once gibberish characters make sense to your brain. It's like reading a language that had been branched off from your native tongue a few centuries prior. It is just alien enough to be unrecognizable at first. However, When you squint hard enough, you find that the characters remind you of your alphabet. And then the word's meaning pops up in your mind. It's unsettling, in a way. It feels as if your brain is shifting from inside out the more you look into it. But try as you might, it's hard to even acknowledge this discomfort. It melts away at the blink of an eye. You squint at the deed. Just an hour or so ago, you had checked it and realized how close you were to the address. And so you got into your car and set out, with a newfound curiosity and a nagging anxiety fighting it out of your chest. Maybe the old man really had given you something of value after all. Maybe not a worthless scrap paper. Could it really be? You got a deed for a hotel from a senile man in a cafe? Sure, I did not read the words. Sure, not many would complain about getting something for free like that, but at the same time, most would argue it feels wrong. The hotel should be just further ahead. You turn on the engine and set off again. It pops up on the horizon just 5 minutes later, while a while later you pull into its gravel parking lot. That's a big hotel. It's like looking back in time at what must have been one of the greater hotels of the 30s and 40s. It's built entirely out of marble in an Art Deco style. Disgusting! It's majestic, grandiose even, but utterly ruined by age and made eerie by its surroundings. Who thought building such an incredible place in a desert would be a good idea? No comment? You look to the infinite horizon behind you. There is nothing aside from the hotel. No plants of any kind. No cacti. No brush. Or even dead trees. Only a hotel in the middle of a desert, built on top of the cliff's wall. No animals either. The sky is blue, without a cloud or a bird of prey in sight. The ground beneath you has no bugs, not even a scorpion or spider. There were no other cars on the road either. You look back to your car's panel. The odometer indicates you've only driven about 4 miles. Your car's hood is cool to the touch, as if it had been off for hours. You look back to the hotel as you think about all those details. Something catches your eye, however. A porch overlooking the valley beneath the hotel. Wow. This kind of reminds me of like California, just where I'm from, with the mountains and all that. It's just gorgeous. The valley stretches to the cloudless horizon, framed to the right and left by more cliffs. Looking down to the bottom, you can just make out the outline of a dry riverbed stretching out. You notice that there's a cave in the cliff wall, right below the hotel. Its exit is lined with statues, the details of which you can't make out at this distance. I don't see them. Right outside, there are rocky tiles spreading out in pathways, sorry. You'd wager a guess it made for a labyrinth of sorts when the river still flowed. The maze ends with a single pathway leading to a high mound, which would have easily stood as an island in the middle of the flooded valley. This region's terrain is much like the hotel. It may have been beautiful a long time ago, but now it's eaten away by time. Your reflection is broken as a more pressing matter sneaks up on you. The heat. Regardless of the weirdness around you, there's no escaping the sweltering sun. You walk to the entrance. The doors are unlocked. It's hard to tell for how long this place has been abandoned. The building itself surely is old. The exterior is severely decayed. It wouldn't be surprising if the interior is teeming with wild animals, rotten walls, and falling pieces of ceiling. But instead, it's just dusty. Humid and stagnant, too. The walls are water damaged and there's lots of mold. However, it's not as bad as one would think. You call out in the hope anyone might be there. Maybe some squatters? But just like the outside, there is no signs of life at all in the hotel. You walk up to the reception. The counter is as dusty as you'd expect, and there are pens and yellowed pieces of paper strewn about. It seems whoever was here left this place in a hurry for who knows how many years ago. There's a door behind the reception desk, which leads you to a small but dignified office that seems to have left under a similar state of hurry. There are even portraits on the table showing black and white pictures of a smiling family. On the corner of the room, there's a rusted safe. Which one should you investigate? I don't know if we can open the safe. What's inside the safe? I must know. I must save my decision so I know I am doing the right thing. Anybody else down to check the safe? Yell that you have Reese's peanut butter flavored Oreos and see how quickly someone comes running. Save for the safe. Which I did save, but I think one person so far wants me to do the safe, and I am in agreement. I just want to get some more people to agree with me so I feel more affirmed. Here we go. Check. That was not the thing I meant to do. Check the safe. It's one of the old-timey safes you'd seen in movies from the 90s, with the spinning dial and all. You prepare yourself to try and crack the password, and then you suddenly get teleported to password. No, this is password again. Except, it's already unlocked, albeit rusty. Svij. I forgot what that language is. Oh, these are many different languages. Oh boy. There's only a stash of booklets inside of it. 4 passports, all from different countries. Wow. Unsurprisingly, they are all expired. There doesn't seem to be anything special about them. But it's strange that someone would keep passports in an office like this. Which one should you investigate? Guys, I don't know which one I should investigate. Can you please help me? Maybe we'll investigate the desk. A book. On this desk is a ledger. Like everything else in the hotel, its pages are yellowed and wrinkly, but it's still readable. It contains a lot of guests, their respective rooms, check-in and check-out dates, signatures, and so on. The last guest arrived back in 1944. Another song from Eurovision. As I keep pulling my Eurovision references, god dang it. To be more precise, someone attempted to check in on that date, but was interrupted in the process. All the following pages in the ledger are blank. you find a second, leather-bound ledger as well. This one has staff written on it in flaking gold paint. It lists all the employees in the hotel during 1944, their country of origin, their role, and a few have a star scribbled beside their name. This place employed quite a number of people. More than 50, in fact. Man, this novel feels like I'm doing like an investigation, like, oof. I feel like I'm really trying to puzzle some things out. It's so fascinating. This doesn't seem to be, or there doesn't seem to be anything else you can deduce from this ledger. You take a moment to go over the ledgers and passports together. A cursory glance reveals a pattern. The passports are from the 4 employees with stars beside their names. You take them with you and leave the ledger on the table. You obtain the passports! You return to the reception to continue looking around. Up ahead is a tall spiral staircase going both up and down. As all stairs would, there are multiple paths branching out from the lobby. You take one of the hallways leading down to the bedrooms and find all the doors unlocked. Oh boy, this is kind of creepy. I feel like we're just finding abandoned stuff, and I'm like, there could be something hidden. Much like the lobby, the bedroom's rotting walls were consumed by time. Walking into them disturbed the fine mist of stagnant spores and dust, which was turned into a curtain of diamonds by the sun shining through the windows. Each bedroom was equipped with at least one king-sized bed. The springs were busted more often than not, and the fabric yellowed. But not even such desolation could hide the past glory of this place. You returned back to the hallway, which seemed to stretch forever forward. From outside the hotel, it had looked big. From outside the hotel it looked big, but not nearly sprawling enough to have a ground floor with over 100 bedrooms. No matter how many twists and turns you took, the hallway never wrapped back into itself. Backtracking all the way back to the lobby was the only option. The spiral staircase seemed much more inviting than wonder. The spiral staircase seemed much more inviting than wandering the seemingly endless hallways. Whoa, that's a lot of stairs. Over the staircase, all the way up, there was a skylight draping the sun's warmth over your shoulders. It was a lighthouse, guiding travelers to this once majestic hotel. The way down was as ominous as the skylight was graceful. The marble handrails were lined with burnt-out lamps. It was impossible to see much of the darkness down below. The second floor was mostly bedrooms again. But here, the outer hallways were lined with sprawling windows showing a courtyard behind the hotel, close to the cliff's edge. It was a sight to behold. While the hotel was consumed by time, the garden was... While the hotel was consumed by time, the garden outside had flourished. It was a field brimming with white flowers swaying in the wretched desert's wind. At the center was a statue of a man and a dog. The flowers rose up to the man's knees, and only the top of the dog's head could be seen. I can see the body. Liars! Sorry, I hit the table again, my bad. The man's hand was outstretched, as if beckoning the flowers to grow taller and for people to approach. The garden seemed a more inviting adventure. You descended back down the marble staircase, brimming with clarity, and it felt like a cloak, or a hug, was draped over your back. What? You took the hallway leading further toward the hotel's back, and a single turn to the right brought you into the vast room. Whoa. Right beside its entrance was a bar, and to the left, tables, couches, and reclining chairs. Further left, there was a tall window of stained glass, like the ones in a cathedral. And though a glass door beside the window was the garden. Oh, and through a glass door beside the window was the garden. The wind blowing through the garden sent out a long, continuous whistle. From the slow angle, the statue seemed like a king, tall yet humble, beckoning his dear subjects. The flowers swayed back and forth in this swinging wind, the singing wind, and the dog's head was barely visible above them. Its ears were perked up and its tongue lolled out from its grinning mouth. Behind the statue, beyond the courtyard, was a railing overlooking the drop into the valley below. As you walked around the statue, you noticed out of the corner of your eye that the dog seemed to have turned its head to follow you. "I'm watching you!" You looked back. The dog statue hasn't budged, but indeed it was gazing right at you. You parted the flowers and walked up to it, and that's when you noticed the dog had 3 heads. One staring forward, and one looking off to either side. All 3 of them exuded warmth. You petted one of its heads, and noticed how worn the marble was. People have been petting him for a very long time. Yes, you can pet the dog in Minotaur Hotel. Then you made your way to the cliff's edge. Once more you were greeted by the valley. Straight down, far below, you could see the statue-lined cave exit. You could only wonder how vibrant this land must have been ages ago, when the valley's river was still flowed. You go back inside, into the vast room. It seems dark but intimate. Now that your eyesight is used to the exterior's brightness, you can still notice the whistling coming from outside. You take a seat at the bar. This newfound darkness is smooth, soft as velvet. It's like being in a candlelit lounge. Behind the counter, the bottles of fine spirits are still half filled. They glimmer in exquisite browns, reds, and blues. You close your eyes. Now I can't see the dialogue. Crap. How do I read? Fine, I'll open my eyes. And imagine how this place was decades ago. The whistling shifts again. It turns into the hum of human life. Footsteps and breathing. Chairs being dragged, cutlery and plates clinking. Laughter, whispers, people greeting each other from across different tables. People dressed so nicely. A barman in front of you, serving the finest drinks you can imagine. He knows your name and how you like it. Whether you are tired or brimming with life, he lends you an attentive ear. You open your eyes. You are back into the abandoned hotel, majestic and destroyed. Oh my god, I can't imagine having to renovate all of this, let alone like a house or whatever. Oh, this is gonna be a lot of work for us. One can understand why the old man wished to pass it on to someone who would care for it. You tap your jacket's breast pocket, making sure the crumpled parchment is still there. Even the yellowed, stained paper exudes warmth now. Maybe because it was against your chest. You stand up and walk out. As you do so, you notice a large purple stain on the floor behind the counter, and the glass shards of what used to be a wine bottle. You proceed further into the hotel. There's a lot to see still. All the way down to a set of sliding glass doors beckon you. But from afar, the distance is clear. The wallpaper is ripped, and one of the doors is cracked. You step on something hard. A revolver bullet. You push the door to the side and are greeted by an even more chaotic sight. The hotel's restaurant. The tables are overturned, and both chairs and plates lay broken on the floor. There's a darkened stain in the middle of the room which trails into the kitchen. Oh shit, we got an abandoned hotel with people that got killed in it. Great. Oh boy, the spooky vibes are just increasing now. It leads you past the pantry and to the massive iron door of a cold room, which is locked from outside and boarded up. All around the kitchen, things are strewn about. There's even a pan on the stove with what must be fossilized food, and the sink is filled with dirty dishes. On a nearby counter is a revolver covered in thick dust. You think back to the bullet in the hallway and the stain on the restaurant floor. The old man wasn't kidding when he said he wasn't a good person. Holy shit. What the fuck? You check your phone. Perhaps you'll need to call the police. Or a morgue. But there's no signal out here. You breathe in. Did somebody say something? Oh, a noise. You breathe in, preparing yourself for a terrible sight. The rusted door fights against your will, but stands no chance. Darkness pours out. The stench strikes first. It's the stagnant smell of blood and rot. It clings to your nose and mouth like a bitter oil. Before your eyes can adjust to the darkness, a second wave of stench hits. It's like a farm too. The scent of a dusty fur, maybe even hay, but cooped up in a hot, humid room for decades. And last, but not least, stale shit and piss. This place has it all. The stench of 1,000 different deaths. The light pouring into the cold room shines on the floor in front of the doorway. Empty cans of soup and glass of jam are strewn about all over the trail of old blood. Whoever was locked in here didn't die quickly. God, this is horrible to think about. The cold room extends into absolute darkness, a hallway in and of itself. You proceed, scraping your shoes on the floor, so you don't trip over the refuse. The entire floor is covered with discarded glass and cans. Whatever scraps were left in them has long rotted, dried, and crumbled into dust. Both your footsteps and breathing echo. The overbearing humidity drapes across your back, and your breathing becomes agitated. The stench is stronger. Your sight finally adapts to the dark. In what must be the cold room's far wall, you notice the faintest glimmer. Oh no! There he is! Whatever it is, it's slouched on the floor, motionless. As if it died where it stood after who knows how long locked there. Oh gods. Oh no, no, no! A shy blue glimmer, however, flickers where its left eye ought to be. I mean, the reception is bad. What if we call the police? You pull out your phone, but there's no signal. Maybe the cold room is causing interference. Before leaving, you take a moment to get a good look at the thing, since you'll have to describe it to whoever picks up the call. Your eyesight is used to the dark now. The distant pillar of light bleeding from the doorway is enough to avoid tripping on the discarded glass. You crouch in front of the thing. It has a bull's head. You look around for its neck, searching for a zipper or the edge of a mask. But there's none. It's covered in fur, aside from patches of sickly, exposed skin. It has hooves instead of feet. Its horns could easily gore a person. Half of its skull is exposed. Their bone still has a smattering of blood dust near the remaining flesh. Its left eye socket is empty, but something shines inside of it. A blue ember. The fur is coarse and unkempt, but can't hide how deathly thin this creature was. It died from starvation, not from whatever destroyed its face. Okay, that's enough. You stand up and turn back to leave. And as you do so, your rustling clothes and echoing footsteps break the curtain of silence. Oh god, he's opening his eyes. Shit, 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 shit. That's when you hear it! Breathing as faint as a moth's wings flapping. You look back to the corpse. The blue flame flickers at you. Its chest expands and contracts. You take a step forward and the spark follows you like an eye. I'm gonna call out. You set your gaze on the thing, trying to read its torn off face. Can you understand me? It barely reacts to your voice at first. Your words slink to it and crawl into its head, dig their way into its mind, and then twist until it wakes up. Like a butterfly coming out of its long sleep, the thing's remaining eye shifts back to life. It nods to you. Oh. 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 Oh, Lord. What are you? I'm Minotaur's. I think I know who this character's going to be, I think, but I gotta give him more of a scraggly kind of voice with this body. I'm Minotaur's keeper and prisoner of the labyrinth. His voice is raspy, nearly a string of grunts booming through the room in contrast with his disheveled body. His remaining eye frowns. And you're the master now, which makes me your servant. Bound to your will, I cannot disobey your orders. The thing cradles his head between his arms. His voice comes out muffled. If you wish to know what thing I am, I'm a hybrid monster. About my sorry state, the previous master did this to me. I want to hit that old man right now. Fuck him. And as your servant, I shall answer the master's questions. He remains with his face hidden for a while longer. While he does look up, he stares at the exit and not at you. He squints his eye and raises a deadly thin forearm over it. He scuttles an inch to the side, so your shadow covers him. Ask your question. Yeah, pretty shady, man. Why were you locked here? This is what the last master saw fit. He shot me, then commanded that I stay here. In this room. But as you can see, I am undying. It only hurts. I cannot be killed. I can only presume he expelled all the guests shortly after. Now the hotel must be in as sorry a state as I am. He locked the door as well, but his command was enough. I could not disobey, so I had no way out. I'm a prisoner after all. And have a good evening, Wend. I know this is a very serious moment, but yeah. We'll see you later. Another question. Why did this previous master do this to you? The creature recoils, shrinking further into a fetal position. Being a monster is his reason enough for damnation, master. He chose to return the labyrinth to its original purpose, I presume. His bony jaw opens and closes, chewing on nothing. Does one need a reason to follow the will of the gods? It hardly matters. Regardless, I cannot die. His open wounds stand out as he speaks, alongside his madly flickering flame. They are glaring enough to be visible from afar, even in the darkness. How can I help you with your injuries? He exhales sharply at your words. His face sinks in again between his legs. Master need not worry about me. I cannot die. And it stopped hurting a long time ago. A skull feels no pain. That is so fucking morbid. What truly hurts is thinking about our guests. For all this time, I've wondered what happened to them. I hope they found belonging elsewhere. You are the hotel's keeper? You are a prisoner, but you are also the hotel's keeper? His eye narrows and ear droops. Yes. I was sentenced by the gods to spend eternity here. I did not fight my killer, and for such meekness, I was condemned. The gods made this land, which they call the labyrinth, to house me in my damnation. The master is meant to be my torturer, and to that end is given control over the land. But there was a master who believed the labyrinth could turn into a soothing place, and that I could tend to it. So by his will, I became the keeper. And by the gods' ancient command, the labyrinth attracts those who are lost and have nowhere to go. They become our treasured guests. He closes his eyes for a moment, or his eye, sorry. He closes his eye for a moment, lost in a daydream. What about your life before you came here? What was it like? Master Jean-Marie told me it became a matter of legends. I was born from a queen who had an illicit affair with the white bull of the sea god, Poseidon. I was raised in the court of King Minos of Crete. He took me as his son, even if I was much worse than a bastard. But eventually, my sister demanded I be sent away. Father Minos acquiesced. Mother spoke not. So they shipped me off to my first labyrinth, alone, with just an axe for company. I stayed there for years. Until one day, the warrior, Theseus, came for my head in rebellion against Father's reign. He was prepared to fight me, but I had nothing to live for. So instead, he provided me with mercy. You could see, the previous owner attempted the very same. But I cannot die. Not this time. I only lost some flesh. And the hotel's guests. His eye flickers madly. Who lived here? What type of people used to consider this their home? Just about anyone in need. If fate saw it fit for them to stumble here. Orphans and runaway children. Homeless wanderers chased by their pasts. Shell-shocked men seeking respite. Those who have no one else, no place to call home. Before the last master took over, the hotel belonged to a man who fought in the First Great War. Master Jean-Marie. He saw fit to bring in those displaced by bloodshed. His voice falters for a moment. You can hear a little crackling. The hotel was glorious then. Master Jean-Marie survived the First War, but not the Second. So his brother inherited the hotel. It saw fit to enact his will against me. You pull the hotel's deed from your breast pocket. So it's this that makes me the new master. Correct. The ownership of the labyrinth was transferred to you. I always knew who the current... I always know who the current master is, and his name. You asked all your questions. Another comes to mind now. What's your name? He hesitates before answering. His burning eye shifts ever so slightly. The master holds the right to pick my name. But if your wish is to know, the one I was given at birth is Asterion. Asterion the Minotaur, adopted son to King Minos of Crete. Asterion looks up to you as he speaks. Perhaps in the distant past those words, adopted son to King Minos of Crete, brimmed with pride. But today, they drip with the nostalgia and hope of a man who, for the first time in decades, utters his own name. For a split second, his remaining eye reflects the strand of light from outside. He realizes then how tired, thirsty, and hungry he is. But it doesn't matter. After all, he cannot die. As a servant, his duty takes precedence. The Minotaur readjusts to a kneeling position. The crackling of his kneecaps bounces off the cold room's walls. He bows his head to you. The bond between jailer and prisoner is born from the deed, while that between master and servant is willfully chosen. Will master hear my oath of servitude? You raise an eyebrow at the skeletal Minotaur's gesture. You cannot muster a response. In your silence, the Minotaur glances up to you. He starts shaking, barely able to hold his hands together. His lips tremble in anticipation. Master, the labyrinth was designed to torture me. The Minotaur's voice cracks. For the first time, you notice a tail thrashing behind him. The oath of servitude is what keeps it at bay. Please, master, allow me to recite it and take me into your service. You can only nod in response. With your authorization, he is able to proceed, after a minute, to bring himself together again. By the provisions under the statute of Joseph the Merciful, the prisoner Asterion pledges loyalty and servitude to the labyrinth's master. The prisoner is made keeper of the hotel above the valley, and is bequeathed the power to realize the master's will. The master, in turn, binds the labyrinth, foreboding its malicious entities from leaving said valley. The realm was engineered to torture the prisoner, and indeed, its mission shall be accomplished. The prisoner will carry the burden of servitude, but they shall not suffer the labyrinth's wrath within the hotel's territory. The prisoner, shielded by his master's will, is made safe as long as his duty is fulfilled, under the terms of the statute. Asterion dares not to look up at you. Once he finishes the oath, his silence is broken only by the drops of sweat dripping from his trembling face. That is... oof. That is rough. This is a lot of information to take in at once. If you want anything from me, you'll have to explain things a little better. For starters, gods? Are you telling me the gods are real? Yes. Pardon me. I failed to consider the times. People with no religion. The gods. They are, or perhaps were, quite real. I cannot know for sure the specifics, but they seem to have disappeared. Back in my time, they were quite present among the lives of men. And more often than not, mortals were worse off for it. I don't know how long I've been here, nor what changed since then. But from the stories I've heard, it seemed that most traces of the supernatural had vanished from the world of the living. Does it matter? Does that answer Master's question? Not completely. What were the gods like? It was rare for mortals to know them personally, but the consequences of infuriating them were plain to see. The Pantheon... the Pantheon was respected, but above all, feared. They were not merciful. You can see for yourself. They sentenced me here. This is a lot to take in. If I'm being honest, that Greek gods are real. Or at least were. It's kind of life-changing. Are all other gods real too? Others? I don't know. I believe many of them were. Yes. But I can't know for sure as I do regarding the gods from my time. Were there other Minotaurs? No. I was the only one. Oh, Catherine's leaving, I think. Or Wend is also leaving? Yeah. What? I think it was just Wend. Sorry, I just saw a comment from earlier. Didn't know who was leaving. Anyway. Never saw or heard of another Minotaur in all these centuries. There are other supernatural beings. A few have appeared in the hotel here and there. Some were staff members, even. But they've grown so very rare over the last few centuries. But no Minotaurs. Why haven't I seen them elsewhere then? Do they live in the woods? Isolated from civilization? Back before I got locked here, they used disguises. They passed as regular humans by using a charm. But I wouldn't know if that is still what they do today. And this oath you were talking about, what does it mean? It's what protects me, my lord. There are creatures in the valley. They cannot harm me inside the hotel, as long as I'm under the master's service. The previous oath remained for as long as the hotel remained without a master. With your arrival, I am made vulnerable again. Please, allow me into your service. I don't know, man. Which decision should I make? Will Master Dirk take Asterion as his servant under the realms or terms of the statute? Of course I will. You gotta get this boy healthy. Gotta help them. Gotta help poor Asterion. This guy's starving. Very well. Assuming you are speaking the truth. Yes, I accept you as my servant. Your words bounce off the walls and slither their way out of the cold room. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. The light dripping from the door behind you falters. Your shadow, draped over the Minotaur, flickers and shifts slightly. We are gonna die! Help! The world itself shudders under your words and responds by slithering into a new shape around you. Asterion still looks down, his frame now slouched further forward and no longer shaking. My gratefulness knows no bounds. I shall not disappoint. I may be sorry, it may be in a sorry state now, but I'll be quick to recuperate. If Master so allows, I will take my leave. I need only take a trip to the infirmary to patch myself up. He raises his head ever so slightly, glancing at the doorway. I am still unable to leave the room until you command me otherwise. I'm gonna escort him. I want to be nice. Help this poor Minotaur out. He's sad. Undying as he may be, the Minotaur's body is atrophied. He won't go so far on his own. You kneel down to his level. Despite the darkness, you can make out his scapulae and sagging skin. Can you walk on your own? Asterion averts his eye by looking down to his legs. Oh, God, those legs are just... One leg is kind of thicker than the other. It's like, oh, man. Even that, then they're, like, just super, like, scrawny. Like, oh, boy, he's just starving. And oh, it's awful. Nesta, not worry about me. I can make it in the infirmary on my own. I've been through worse. He won't look up to you. There's just a hint of pride in his voice. I think just letting him do that would... Actually, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna command him to help. We need to help this poor man out. He stink, but he also is sad. I'm sorry. I can't allow that. You are in no condition to walk anywhere. You'll let me take you there. That's an order. He remains with his head bowed, looking at his kneecaps. He sighs deeply, shoulders slouching at the same time. When he speaks, he pronounces every syllable with a cold sharpness. I obey. The Minotaur's skin and fur is deathly thin. He shouldn't be heavy. You could carry him, but that alone could hurt him. Can I find you a wheelchair around here somewhere? Infirmary ought to have one. It's... one of the rooms further down the corridor. You tell the Minotaur to wait there while you fetch it. Right as you're leaving the destroyed restaurant, your vision falters. Oh, right as you're leaving the destroyed restaurant, your vision falters. For a fraction of a second, the world goes black. The infirmary turns out to be the door immediately after the restaurant. You find a rusty and slightly moldy wheelchair thrown in the front of the door. It'll do. Asterion waits where you left him. Although now he's back to curling up, his face is covered by his arms. His single remaining ear flicks as you approach. Oh, God, I didn't realize he only has... Oh, because of the skull. Oof. As you approach, but he says nothing. Either in gratitude or protest. He's light as a child. Certainly no more than 20 kilograms. Wow, that's... He grunts and shudders under your contact. After helping him to the chair, you notice one of your hands is covered in a dark red blood from touching his back. Oh, Lord. As you make your way out of the cold room, you see his back is covered in horrific bad sores. With a sideways glance, he catches you staring. The light, however, seems to hurt him. He covers his eyes with both hands. Or his eye with both hands. The infirmary is like looking into a period piece about the Second World War, with an added layer of dust and rust. Much like the kitchen, it was evacuated in a hurry. There are clipboards strewn about, medication vials left half opened, even a hypodermic needle still loaded with a sticky yellow liquid. Or sickly yellow liquid. Oh my God, this is just terrible. Squinting his eye, Asterion walks up to the drawers. He examines each one, silent, until one of them reveals shards of green glass and a purple, dried-out stain. The Minotaur slouches forward and sighs. He scrapes a finger on the drawer, trying to gather some of the purple dust, but it's no use. He continues looking around, and you do the same. All you find are dusty bandages, long rotted medications, and, deep in one of the drawers, a nearly empty bottle of wine. You hold it up against the window. There's just an inch of wine left. The cork is dried out and crumbling into dust. In this heat, it must have turned into vinegar already. You're about to put it back when you notice Asterion's gaze following the bottle. He looks up briefly to your eyes, his face contorted into a pleading frown. Is this what you're looking for? The Minotaur nods meekly. The wine heals me. He does not budge until you extend it to him. Only then does he bow. The Minotaur sits in one of the infirmary beds. The gourd crumbles to dust when he pulls it, leaving the bottle still clogged. You extend a hand to him. He switches from looking at his bottle, held close against his chest, to your hand. Begrudgingly, he returns it to you. There's just enough cork left for you to pull it out. You return the bottle to the Minotaur. His hand shakes as he tries to pour a few drops of the wine into the palm of his hand. He places the bottle on the nightstand. The Minotaur dabs his finger into the wine, leaving a single drop nearly falling from it, and touches one of his wounds. He repeats the process again and again. A few drops fall on the bed. His face frowns bitterly. When his handful of wine is nearly gone, he rubs his still wet hand on the exposed skull. It's only been a few minutes, but you can already notice some of his wounds healing. The Minotaur notices you watching. His lips, or what remains of them, curl into a half-proud smile. Yes, I can heal quite quickly, provided I have the wine for it. It's just a pity the full bottle I had stashed was broken. Starin reaches a hand to his back. He flinches as he grazes one of the bed sores. Let me help you with that. You can't see it. He droops his ears in defeat, knowing full well you are right. However, he extends the bottle back to you with a speed betraying his eagerness. His tail flicks to and fro behind him. You dab a piece of old gauze with the wine and get to work. The Minotaur's wounds have a black tinge to them. Dark oil seems to have accumulated on them, oozing down his back in clearly defined rivers. He flinches when the fabric touches his damaged skin, but pushes back against you at the same time. His wounds close quickly, in an almost unsettling speed. 5 minutes later, you've run out of wine, but it was enough to rid Asterion of his most egregious bed sores. He lays a hand on his skull. I need a lot more wine for this. You ask if there's any other way you can help him. Asterion has a shy curve on his lips when he looks up to you from the bed. His tail flicks to the left, to the right. He swings his hooves over the floor. When he speaks, his voice is grave, however, and rumbles with sobriety. You've been too kind already, Master. It would be terribly unfitting of a keeper to impose a task upon his master, let alone as many as you've aided me with so far. His one remaining eye is half closed. Please, worry not about me. He speaks then with a twinge of relief. Unless Master has a task for me, I shall take some rest here and then wash myself. I am most unfitting now for a keeper of the hotel. Master need not worry. Shouldn't you have had some food first? What if you pass out in the bathroom? That shall not be an issue. I can attain sustenance now that you've accepted me into your service. The Master commands the labyrinth, and though the oath has bequeathed me some of your power, I shall not go hungry again. There is much I can gladly teach you about the labyrinth, Master. I shall tend to your needs, if you know how to lead it. Observe. For a half second, as if the entire world blinks out around you, and your mind goes blank alongside it. Now Asterion has in his hands an overflowing bunch of grapes. The fuck? What? What? Do you like grapes? I hope these are to your liking. This is the duck song, but serious. And goodbye to Simsalis. Sorry I didn't say goodbye earlier, but have a good night, or whatever it is. You hesitate before accepting food from him. Shouldn't he be the one eating first? The master eats first. Only then may the keeper feed. Regardless, master has been kind to me, and I would be happy to share with thee. The Minotaur seems eager to have you taste the grapes. They are impossibly sweet, but you only take a few so he may start eating. He flicks his ears and tail at your enjoyment, then starts wolfing down the grapes. He barely looks up to you now. As soon as he's run out of grapes, a new bunch appears in his hands, then a cup of water, and more fruits still. Couldn't he just summon a bottle of wine? I don't know. Like, he could summon a cup of water. Can he summon a cup of wine or a bottle of wine? He's like Minotaur Jesus. Sorry, I kicked the table for being Minotaur Jesus here. Anyway, when he does finally look up to you, he slows down and tries to clean his muzzle of all the juicy bits. His eye betrays a tinge of self-consciousness. I am sorry. I am more beast than I am man. Sometimes it gets the better of me. I should not be so brutish around master. He almost seems to shrink down in front of you, trying to hide away. There is a shame clearly painted on his face over having required so much of your assistance. Perhaps this would be a good moment to let the Minotaur have some privacy. I'll let you have your rest. I'll come back and check up on you later. Asterion interrupts his feeding frenzy to bow to you, dignified despite the juices running down his mouth and chest. I shall be presentable after washing up, master. Worry not about me. Offer to help him with the bath? Is this an NSFW scene? Lord knows. Maybe you should. Better be. I don't know, I feel like that'd be nice. Are you sure you don't want help with the bath? I don't want you falling and getting hurt. The Minotaur shrinks down, his hunger giving way to a colder gaze. Somebody says don't help him. Yeah, this is the safer work version. Anyway. I speak the truth, master. I may be frail now, but after this meal and a rest, I will be strong enough to do it. There's a bathroom right here in the infirmary. I understand your worry, but I can do it. The air grows tense for a moment. Asterion's voice rings with an unexpected sharpness. He lays his hand over his crotch and closes his legs. Master need not fear. I shall look presentable next time we meet. He bows to you and remains like that until you leave the infirmary. Drink your sorrows away, my favorite chapter. How long have we been going? Okay, we've almost hit 2 hours. I don't think I'm gonna keep going at this. I'm sorry, I don't know if I should keep going longer. I'm having a blast with it. I'm really enjoying this. I definitely feel like this could be a good series, but it's like 11 at night for me, and I don't want to be up too late finishing the chapters. But I'm just gonna quickly check to see how long it is via like code dialogue or whatever. Usually this helps me like kind of eyeball it based on the sidebar and be like, okay, this is how much progress I need to make, or this is how far I need to go, or when I should stop. So, apologies if I do this. Such beautiful dialogue. Where the heck are we? Oh, there's a chapter 3 after this. Oof. There's a lot in build 1. And 4. Wow. I'm just gonna quickly try to scroll back to where chapter 3 starts. Oh my gosh, it's like... sorry that I'm doing this and kind of cheating with it. I just want to make sure that I'm... Sure, because I'm like, where's chapter 3 start? Because there's like chapter 3 labels. There's no need to force yourself. If you don't want to, yeah, okay. Thanks for the advice on that, guys. I'm just like a bit shocked because it's like, it says chapter 2 here. Oh, they did like an error with it, I guess. They called it they labeled it chapter 3, even though it's supposed to be chapter 2. Okay. But then the next label should be... Sorry I'm cheating with this. I'm curious because, you know, Nanoff does really good stuff with coding and, you know, for advice in the future of mine. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty decently long chapter, so... Apologies on that front. It seems like chapter 2 and 3, I guess, maybe got combined by accident. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna stop here, and if if chapter 3 is like really close to this, I'm gonna kick myself, but I'm not gonna care. Whatever. Sorry, guys, I just need to get some sleep, but I'm really happy for the time we've had together. Just gonna edit. We're gonna save here first. That's the most important part. Saving. Chapter 2. I also like how tech is blue, because blue's my favorite color. So, that's cool. But yeah, it says chapters are pretty long. Yeah. I mean, the first 2 weren't, really. But together, it was like a decent amount. But I just need to find another day to just keep going with this, because I'm loving it. I'm just... Yeah, like I said... Been a long day for me. We're gonna go back to the title screen now. Yeah, exactly. It's better to go to sleep now and continue another day. Exactly. So, yeah, this is gonna be the end of the reading, unfortunately, but I'm looking forward to playing this again. And actually, I'm not sure exactly when I'll play it again, but I know this Sunday I'm gonna be doing D&D. Let me just double check. Yeah, because I did not do it last Sunday. Yeah, so at least we have D&D on Sunday, so there's gonna be that on Twitch. And yeah, if I find the chance either tomorrow or Saturday, I'll probably just continue again with Minotaur Hotel. I'm having a blast with this novel, and I'm really thankful that Ursinus suggested this to me. So, I'm gonna make this a very short and brief ending. The March Madness polls are in the description. I was going to do like a little weekly like update on, oh, this is what's going on with it, but I could just do that as a separate video, like for the next time I do it, or just do a brief update video or something. There's less than a week, I have to say. Yes, there is less than a week, only 6 days left in the polls for the seeding, and to see who makes the top 64 or 68. We are still figuring out if we're going to do a first 4 match, like the actual basketball tournament does. We had kind of seed it a bit differently than how they would. Like, we'd actually do it in a more reasonable way than they would, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, you know, it just means we're gonna accept 4 more candidates, but that means 4 more things to vote on, and are people gonna really want to, vote for those people that are lower? yeah. I've been back and forth on it mentally, and I'm going to get the committee together to vote on that next Saturday, actually. I was going to do, like, yeah, I'm busy this Saturday. Yeah, so, anyway, that's all I got, so, once again, the polls in the description below, and the rankings in the description, if anybody wants to check them out. Feel free to vote if you haven't already. Every response counts and helps. But yeah. Matches will start soon after that. We're gonna get into the real thing. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, take care, guys.